Hello and welcome from an undisclosed location here in Shanghai, China, where we are going to get a first glimpse at the IM-L6, an electric sedan that promises rear steer, air suspension, a solid-state battery, and nearly 800 horsepower.
Welcome to Wheels Boy, where we cover the newest, coolest, and wildest vehicles from the Chinese car market. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell.
Let's talk about some of those headline numbers, starting with horsepower. This thing will be available with a dual motor powertrain making 579 kilowatts, or the equivalent about 785 horsepower. The 0 to 100 kilometer per hour or 0 to 62 mile per hour time is a claimed 2.74 seconds. Then there's that solid-state battery, which the brand claims will deliver over 1,000 kilometers of range on China's CATL cycle. It will measure 133 kilowatt hours. Now, a bunch of different brands have promised that they're going to bring solid-state batteries to the market, including NIO. But while they have been able to do some pilot programs, providing them at swap stations here in China, they haven't been able to produce them at scale. IM claims that they are going to be the first company to do so. We'll talk a little bit more about hardware later, but let's talk about design language. This thing uses the same design language as the IM LS6 SUV, which is a little surprising because this isn't the first IM sedan. That would be the L7. The L7 used a very distinctive Sigma-shaped front-end daytime running light design, and I have to admit, I'm a little disappointed not to see it on the L6. The IM L6 measures almost exactly the same length as a Honda Accord, but it has a considerably longer wheelbase at 2.95 meters. The design language, according to IM, is called gentle sculpture. Personally, I would refer to it as aggressive jelly bean. Thanks to that aggressive jelly bean shape, however, it's able to achieve a drag coefficient of 0.226, which is just slightly higher than the 0.22 of the latest Tesla Model 3. IMs are known for their radical rear-end design, which, let's be honest, very much resembles that of an Aston Martin. That's especially true on this car because unlike the LS6, where the bottom light here also illuminates, this one only lights up on top. Unlike so many electric sedans these days, the L6 doesn't just look like a liftback. It actually is a liftback. That, however, doesn't result in an especially large rear cargo area. According to the brand, when you lay down the second row, you get 1,290 liters, which feels pretty impressive. But if you look from here, the opening, while relatively wide, leads into a very narrow cargo area. As previously mentioned, the L6 will be available with adjustable height and stiffness air suspension and rear steer. When you combine that rear steer with the twin electric motors, this thing can do crab walking, but also it can turn completely in place, aka tank turn. As if that hardware wasn't already enough, the IM L6 also has a Lidar unit as part of its driver assistance system, all of which is powered by an NVIDIA Orin X chipset. The IM L6 maintains one of my least favorite things about all IM vehicles, and that is the door handle design. If you grab this thing slowly, no problem. But if you're in a rush and you grab it, there's a noticeable delay between when you grab it and when it actually electrically opens for you. Inside of the L6, we find the familiar IM interior. That means these adjustable height upper screens. Yes, these can go up and down, though not on this engineering car. And a smaller lower screen. This one, in other IMs, is used to control things like the air conditioning, the lights of the car, etc. Obviously, the screen over here is for your passengers' personal entertainment and for them to control the navigation system. The IM LS6's interior screens are all powered by a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8295 processor. Below that center screen, we have a wireless charging pad that's 50 watts, an upgrade from previous IMs that were only 15. I'm a little disappointed to find that the storage cubby next to the wireless charging pad here is no longer the perfect shape to put your sunglasses. Instead, it's a oval shape like this, which, let's be honest, is probably much more useful. Speaking of being more useful, I'd love if this was an actual steering wheel. Thankfully, if the L6 is anything like other LM models, this half steering wheel yoke thing will be optional. There is no heads-up display on this car because, according to IM, you can already see all the information you need right there on the screen, and I tend to agree. The seats are soft and comfortable. They're also heated and cooled, though they do not have massaging, which is available on some of its competitors. This is a pre-production prototype, so I'm not going to be too harsh when it comes to material quality, but first impressions are good. SAIC, that's Shanghai Automotive Industrial Corporation, the owners of the IM brand, their high-end brands tend to be pretty middle of the market when it comes to material quality, and I have to guess this is probably going to be the same. With that 2.95 meter wheelbase, the L6 has plenty of leg room back here. The seating position is also helped by the fact that they've extended the seat cushion down here below, as you can see. It's actually quite supportive, and you can put your feet just underneath the seat there. In terms of headroom, I'd say I've got about a fist on top of my head. I'm 1.75 meters or 5 foot 9 inches tall. There's no rear screen back here to control any of the vehicle's functions, just a armrest with some cup holders, but the IM Mag system, a magnetizing system right here on the back of the seat, would allow you to put in a screen for entertainment. If you needed to charge that screen, say it was an iPad or something, you could do so using the single USB Type-C charging port down here. I really think there should be two. This being a true liftback, the passenger compartment is connected to the rear cargo area, which means I suppose you could put something really long through here. It would, however, perhaps affect the NVH in the vehicle, as would the pillarless doors. Thankfully though, the L6 has dual pane glass for all side windows. You'll notice I haven't said anything about the price of the L6 as well as a bunch of other information related to its driving dynamics. That's because we simply don't know them, and we won't until this car actually debuts later this year. We are going to drive it when that happens, so you should like, subscribe, and hit the bell.